Wilderness this 22nd of May, 1993 for a full day French Broad River trip. Rob will be your trip leader. My name is Ray. Introducing your guides here, Robert.
Hello, don't pet burning dogs.
And Wayne.
Yeah, I was asking Robert that work release program's come along. He said it's doing all right. He's pretty all right to team.
You haven't felt like killing anybody lately, have you?
Not this week.
That's good.
If you wouldn't really guess, you had to get him. Keep in line.
I hope you have a good trip.
Hope you do too.
There he is, one of your other guides, Randy. Ken's going to be your sweet boater today.
Great, man. No? You're kidding.
He's going to be responsible for picking up all the pieces.
Yeah, all the carnage all over the river.
And there's Rob, your trip leader, doing a final adjustment on somebody's life jacket. Real important to have a tight fit on these. You don't want those things coming over your head.
Everybody has a good fit on the jacket. And what we will do is I'll have a little bit more here to do. I'll be the lead boat. This is Ken right here. He's going to be the last in line. There are about 2 guys. What a lucky man, huh? 2 guys take care of this guy. I say Ken will be last in line. Ken has the first. Yeah, we have.
Right here we got the comic relief boat. These guys going down without a professional guide. Should be a lot of fun to watch them today. And the other self-guided boat today, led by Wes there, putting his life jacket on. We're always glad to see some boats that provide some comic relief. Well, it's time to hit the water, so I'm going to go ahead and paddle on downstream here. I'll see you there at Cody Cliffs. Well, it's a little cold for Cody Cliffs, where we normally stop on a warmer day. A little bit of cliff jumping. Water being cold and the air temperature being cool, Rob told me to come on down here. So we now are at our first big class 3 rapid. It's called Big Pillow, named for that big 4-over rock right there. Big hydraulic behind there, capable of easily flipping a raft today. That's the main obstacle in this one. A little bit higher water, that forms a huge river, almost wide, raft flipping hole here. See a couple kayakers entering at the top. We've got a big hole at the top there. Another one over on the left side. We're going to run in between, try and stay clear of the big pillow here. Kayakers making it look easy. These guys are out for a clinic today. Trying to get better there at one of the fastest growing sports in the nation. It's called a pop-up. Stick your bow into the front of the hole there. Take it down, and the buoyancy of the boat will take over and sometimes get you completely airborne. We'll see how our crew does here at Big Pillow Rapid, Class 3. We've got a canoe clinic casualty here. Even before our trip gets down, these guys, again, are learning how to canoe and kayak. This one's going through the rapid all by itself, it looks like. Entering the top here. See if this empty canoe can stay away from the big pillow. So far, a perfect line. Yeah, right where you want to be on a raft ride. That's the hot line right there. Watch out for the big hydraulic here. Spun around, just catching the edge of it banging on the rock. This guy's helmet hanging out there, that's not a good sign. Casualty here, the Class 3. There's the swimmer going over the big rock for the bump and grind. Let's see how our crew does here. We got Nate Brown here, live photographer for Carolina Wilderness. Doing a good Samaritan thing, helping out. Well, you can see our group there huddled up behind that first rapid called Entrance to Big Pillow. Trip leader Rob Wendt here is going to come on down, set up safety at the bottom. The closeness of these 2 rapids makes this one even a little more difficult because if you swim in the above one like that canoeist did back there, you want to make sure you get back in your boat so you don't have to swim the whole thing here. It's not fun swimming a Class 3 rapid. Rob and his crew coming by the pillow, lining up for the big hit on the hole. Good hit there. You can hear Rob backing it up. He's going to be sitting here behind that rock he's going over to set up safety. Back at the top here, Randy Joseph and his crew. Getting a good hit on that top hole up there. Turning away from the pillow and aggressively paddling away from that. Very aggressive maneuver here. Randy's been working with Claw a long time, getting a good ride on the shoulder of the pillow, a lot of up and down action. Getting ready to turn down into the hole now. Yeah. Good job for Randy and his crew. And back at the top, we got a self-guided. See how these guys do. They're trying to follow the lines of the two guided boats in front of them. So far, so good. Going through that top photo wedge there. That's about a 2 or 3 foot drop. Doing the same thing, paddling away from the pillow there. These guys are getting a little wide. They may go over the top of the pillow, gang. Get to just the edge of it, man. That's about as close as you can get. Yeah, coming around the edge of the hole. So far, so good for these guys. All right. Back at the top here, we got Robert and his crew. Taking a little different line at the top here on the right side, hitting that top right-hand hole. And again, some aggressive paddling here, pointing the boat away from the pillow. He's right there in the current, he can drift. Now he's pointing at it, coming by for a good ride. Taking a line straight along the back side of that hole, going over some rocks. Nope, on the other side for a little bump. Back to the top here, we got our second self-guided. They're in the middle of the rapid here, pointing away from the pillow and paddling hard. Yeah, it's in a terrific smash of water in the front of that boat. Good hit, guys. All right, good ride. Back to the top here, we've got Wayne and his crew. He's pretty far over to the outside and sideways. Better get him paddling hard forward to catch the edge of the pillow. And they do, just going over the side of it. Yeah, heavy crew in that boat. And at the top there, bringing up the sweep, Ken Goad and his crew. Again, taking that right-hand hole there. Today's group is a bunch of Girl Scouts and a bunch of Boy Scouts. This is a defensive maneuver, pointing at the pillow and backing hard away from it. Yeah. We've seen both ways to run this rapid, right and left, and forward and backwards. So far, so good here. It's Class 3, big pillow. Rob and his crew done with the safety. I'll see you downstream. Another casualty here, Class 3, big pillow, taking its tolls on the canoes today. Rob being a good Samaritan again here. Bottom hydraulic here at Sandy Bottom Rapid. A fun Class 2 with lots of big waves, a few big holes like that one. Lots up and down and fast water. Our crew floating down here out of Sandy Bottom Pool. Once again, we got trip leader Rob Wentz here leading the way. The trick here is to just point your boat at the biggest waves you can. Notice out of this one. There's no mandatory maneuvering in this rapid here, so it is only a Class 2. Back at top, Randy Joseph and his group. Take a little different line. They're coming away from the left bank. Paddling forward out to the middle here. A little wave for the camera there. And a good hit on that one. We got another wave right after it. See a lot of up and down, and the guiding back there gets tossed around quite a bit. Big wave and around the bottom hole. Got our self-guided following now, so again, staying the same line. The guided wraps in front is taken. These smaller boats here are Riken, 2 cross-tube boats, good for self-guided because they're very easy to maneuver. A little bit smaller raft than the other ones we've got on with us today. We've got Robert and his crew. Robert, a first-year guide to Carolina Wilderness, one of the first ones released, doing real well his first year with us. Then we've got Wayne and his crew. Wayne, another excellent first-year guide. We're standing by the pool where these rafts are coming from here, found in Cherokee Legend, where they talk about the giant man-eating monster that lives in the bottom of the pool. His name is Dakwa, a giant snapping turtle. Wayne and his crew through safely, and finally we've got our sweet boat, Ken Goad and his crew. Ken's in his second year. Lives in a teepee near the Carolina Wilderness there in Hot Springs. A few ways for the camera. Well, we've got the longest rapid of the day just around the corner here. It's called Ledges. I'll see you down there. We're looking at the bottom drop here at Ledges Rapid. As I said, the longest on the river. About a quarter-mile long rapid here, class 3. Got a big hole there on one side. Big crashing wave on the other with a narrow tongue in between. And afterwards some big rocks and a strainer. We've got Rob and his crew leading the way. We've already come through about 5 or 6 big holes that could easily flip a raft at higher water. You can see what that big ledge did there, but you got a rock here. You can see Rob and his boat just swinging up on that. Once you go across that ledge, this rapid is not over. Big strainer, tree in the middle. Rob doing his best to get it out of the current. Next we got Randy Joseph and his crew, and a self-guided way in the background over in the middle of the river. We're going to need to try and get over where Randy's at. Randy going through the edge of the hole. Now these guys might catch just a little bit more of it. Still a good ride though. Watch out for the rock at the bottom. Like that one right there. Still got another raft coming through. Wayne and his crew. These guys off the rock without any swimmers. That's good. Wayne follows right up on top. Self-guided following his line here. Big space full of water there. Yeah, those guys going right beside it. Good job. You can see Rob down there setting up safety. Here comes Wayne. Right over the steep part of that ledge there. Pour over on the right, big wave for the camera. And smooth in between drops. Good job. And the sweet boater, Ken and his crew. Ken's got the first aid kit, repair kit. Needs to go last. As I said earlier, his responsibility is to pick up the pieces. Well, we haven't had any. It's been a good trip. We got another class 3 right down there. Pinball Rapid. Bottom drop here at Pinball Rapid, named for the large number of rocks here. As water level drops, this rapid becomes more and more difficult. So during the summer, it's very difficult to get the rafts through here without spinning around off these rocks. That's the name, Pinball. Rob and his crew again, first through. There's a real sweet line through here, just cutting over the edges of pillows like that, or pour over rocks. They're small enough where it's okay to run them. Use it to help turn the boat. You can see Rob going over the bottom drop backwards. At the top. Randy Joseph and his crew taking the top part easily, just drifting through, letting the current do most of the work. Point at the left bank here, they're going to want to either turn the boat or back paddle hard away from there. Randy's back there maintaining the angle. Everyone back paddling. That's called a back ferry. Good defensive maneuver. and his crew making it look easy today. It's over the bottom drop. Good job. We got our self-guided coming through here, and just in case anything happens, we got Rob setting up safety down below. One thing that can happen in this rapid is if you take a swim or get a boat full of water, it's very difficult to get to the lunch spot, which is immediately to the right on an island here at the end of this rapid. Since we're on the left side of the river, you've got to get almost all the way to the river right side. This guy's following Rob's directions, doing a real good job here. Coming down the left side, good job. Robert, his group. There's a T-grid flying high in the air. That's one thing I don't like to see. Hard piece of plastic that can knock teeth out. All you gotta do is keep your hand on a few waves for the camera here and sliding over the rock at the bottom. Here comes our other self-guided. So far this trip's been a good one with nobody out of the boat at all, as I can tell. Not the same for that group of canoeists back there. 3 out of 3 swam. Good run. Sweet boat, Ken Goad and his crew coming into the top. It's very important that you start this rapid out correctly. You want to be in the right spot. Otherwise it's very easy to stay offline the whole way through the rapid. Not Ken at all. My butt. The other half here, this is Wayne and his crew. Good job. Little rough at the bottom. Now we got our sweet boater, Ken Goad. Some of the other boats that have a good time in this rapid are the Funyaks. An option we have a little bit lower water level. Those are solo boats, self-bailing. Don't got to worry about the water that gets in them. Very maneuverable, inflatable kayaks. A lot of fun. A little diagonal over the bottom rock. But looks like everyone's making it to lunch here. We've got some hot dogs and hamburgers. I'll see you over there. Today's lunch here, burgers and dogs, cooked by chef extraordinaire Wayne. He's a graduate of BIP, the Burger Institute of Technology.
I know, sure.
Little lunch break on the island here before we head downstream. Got some real exciting stuff down there. Needle Falls, a 5.5-foot vertical waterfall. Frank Bell's the final exam here to this day. Big class 4 with a raft flipping hole in bottom left. I'll see you downstream. We now have the 2 most exciting rapids of the day here of the French Broad full-day river trip. This is Needle Falls, a 5.5-foot vertical waterfall. One of the highlights of the day here. A huge hole at the bottom. The rafts are going to punch right down through the middle of that. We've got a couple kayakers here trying their skill. Remember, this is a clinic. We may see a little bit of carnage here. This rapid actually has 2 drops. The first one, like I said, a 5.5-foot vertical waterfall. The second one, we've got a 3-foot ledge right after this. Making it look easy running that right-hand side, or the left-hand side actually. What you don't want to do is go over this part right here. You want to try and go around, just catch the edge of that turning hole right there. Really exciting part of the river here. Needle Falls. Warm-up is over. It's definitely time to paddle or die. So far so good for the clinic here. Well, discussing the hole here, we've got the crew paddling through 2 miles of flat water called the Windy Flats. I'd say most of them now are a little too nervous. A little too nervous to notice the bluets we've got here at the bottom of Needle Falls. Rob and his crew getting ready. We've got 2 routes through this one. one. And that rock right there gets out far enough to be growing grass on the top. We come from the left side. Today we'll see Rob and all the other guided boats take the right-hand route just to the right of that rock. One of the key things to running this rapid successfully is to do it slowly. See Rob just barely drifted by that rock there. You also want to have a left-hand angle. Rob's creeping over the top, just in the angle of the boat now. Yeah, not so bad, a good ride. Then he changes the angle here to back away from the second leg. And a good run for our trip leader and his crew. Back at the top here, we've got Randy Joseph and his group. The Boy Scouts eager to do the big drop here on the French Broad. Fly the faces in a floating T-grip there again. That is a dangerous thing. Good left-hand angle, back and hard. Looks like another good run. Up against the rock at the bottom, spinning around. Just coming through the hole here. We got Wayne and his crew. They're going to go over the bottom ledge. And that's what happens when you don't make it around. All right. Now it's time for the bravest of them all of those riding in the self-guided boat there. Had enough practice and done real well today. Here's the test. This one and the next rapid, Frank Bell's. Good left-hand angle, going over the drop slowly. Yeah. Looks like we got somebody in there looking for trout here on the French Broad. He's going in for a rough ride. Got his feet upstream, real important here. Take a big deep breath. Woo! All right, rescue in progress here from the self-guided crew. Back at the top, we got the other self-guided. They didn't like what they saw in that one. They're taking it in the middle here. It might be a bumpy ride for them. Woohoo! I told you. Right in front there. Out of control. Captain Lane on the tube. Drifting way against the right bank over there near that tree. Changing the angle of the boat. Like one guy without a paddle just hanging on there. There it is, the Comet Relief Team. Back to the top. Robert and his crew. Drifting slowly over the top. Left-hand angle. Robert trying to adjust his seat there. That was a little bumpy too, and everyone's still in the boat. Back paddling. Got to paddle a little harder than that to back it around the second ledge here, and they're going to just catch the corner of it. Good run. The last one going over the drop. Ken and his crew. They're looking pretty good, maybe a little too far to the right. It's going to be a steep ride here. Yeah, but smooth. All right. Good job. Sideways over the bottom drop. We'll hang out on the rock. Backwards will do. Oh no, what do we do now? Ken, good try and manage things here. Got the whole crew wondering what's going to happen next. For the time being here, we're going to go over and check out a couple people on the eddy line. A few waves for the camera. Everybody happy they made the big drop successfully here. Needle balls. They're still wondering about Frank Bell's. That is the next rapid ND. Hardest of the day, a big class 4. So Ken and his crew is going to be all right here. We head on downstream to Frank Bell's. I'll see you there. Few more swimmers here. Try to do a peel out. Do a peel out of that current. Right over there. You want your upstream tube. Everybody sitting on that tube to lean in. Otherwise you get sucked right out of there and the catfish starts looking for dinner. This time I'll see you downstream. The bottom hole here at Frank Bell's Rapid, that's on the left side of the run at the bottom, and if you would take your raft in there, that's a guaranteed flip. The water afterwards very deep here. It's been depth sounded at 70 feet deep. You take what we call the deep swim and surface somewhere down there. This rapid's got a whole lot to it here at the bottom. You can see that one big hole on the left and a real violent one on the right. You got to take the tongue right in between. Right up above is another hole. Right there. You get in that one will surf you. You want to hit just the edge of that hole. It helps to stop you from going across to that other big hole there where you'll flip at the top. See a couple of vertical ledges up there with hydraulics behind them. A whole lot going on in this one. It is the final exam at the end of the French Broad full day. We'll see how they do. Well, at the top, we have Randy Joseph and his crew. Getting hung up there on that top rocky ledge. Real easy to do at this water level. Much lower, we have to do what we call the horseshoe drop, the run from the top on the right. What you want to do when you get on a rock like that is find where the rock is. Usually someone's sitting on top of it. That's what Randy's done there, is he's moved the people off the rock. The current picks up the raft and takes it on downstream. See how technical this rapid is with all the maneuvering Randy and his crew has to make. Don't know they're doing a big zigzag, punching a couple big holes. Oh, I thought we were going to have a swimmer there. Backing away, they're going to catch the edge of the turning hole. And an excellent run. All right, they're going to be down here setting up safety in case we have any swimmers. Back about the middle, we have Ken Goat and his crew. Again, catching the edge of that hole. Good run.
Back right! All forward hard!
At the top, you got Wayne and his crew. You see everybody taking a slightly different line up there. Each of the guys from this one has their own personal favorite way to do it. As long as it ends up curl up right at the bottom, that's okay. Now Wayne and his crew are way, way, way over to the left there. You might see a little action here, gang. He's got a left-hand angle bumping up against the rock. We're going to have to watch this. This is going to be the big dump. We got a deep swimmer right there. Okay, over the top here, we've got Robert and his crew going to do the same thing, going right into the hole.
But he makes it!
The hole has been friendly today. There's the guide. I'm not sure if he's going to hang through this one or not. And over here we got Rob and his crew. Robert and everybody back in. There's a boat of survivors. Well, we're waiting for two of our guides to walk back up to run the self-guided boats through with a professional guide. I want to go ahead and tell you about a couple other rivers that Carolina Wilderness does. This has been a full-day French Broad River trip. We also do half days here, where it's about a 3-hour trip. You can do those with or without lunch. Convenient if you've are in the Asheville area and don't have a whole lot of time. One of the other rivers that Carolina Wilderness does is the Nolichucky. It's a step above the French Broad here. As you recall, this river starts out with the easiest rapids and gradually gets more difficult until you're down here at Frank Bell's at the end of the day. The Nolichucky is just the opposite. You get a class 3 to warm up on, and then that's it. You got a bunch of class 4s that at high water become class 5s to the southeast deepest gorge. It rises about 2,500 feet above the river. There's no access on that river halfway down, so we can only do full days and occasional overnights there. If you're interested, you can give us a call here at 1-800-8-RAPIDS. We also have a parent company up in West Virginia. They run the New and the Gauley Rivers. The New is known as the Grand Canyon of the East because of the large volume of whitewater that runs through that gorge. It's not uncommon to see 10 to 15 foot waves there. Class 4 and 5 whitewater, the New offers a great challenge. Not as great as the Upper Gauley River. Rated by Canoe Magazine as one of the top 10 whitewater runs in the world. Number 2 behind the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. Got 100 rapids of class 3 or better in the upper and lower sections for 26 miles of whitewater. That upper section is 12 miles. You get 5, class 5. The lower has 3. If you're interested in running the New or the Gauley River with our parent company, Mountain River Tours, you can give them a call at 1-800-822-1FUN. Should see those self-guided boats coming down here any minute. We've got the first of our self-guided here. Looks like Robert has walked back up, paddle in hand to help him out. Gonna get a second run here at this rapid. Plenty of time up there between those top ledges and this turning hole. That's where you want to hit it right there for that little bit of stall action. And an excellent run. All right, good job. Back at the top now. Like Ken Goat, his crew, take a little brief stop there at the top. Ken's using that as an opportunity to explain to his... Over here we got a boat of survivors. Ken is now out of the boat. Trying to lift that boat full of people off that rock. Get all the people who are sitting on the rock to move to the other side of the raft. It won't take a whole lot of effort on his part to push that boat off the rock. Okay, I see movement up there. They're back in the current. Sliding over that top ledge. Punch a couple of holes at the bottom. Now all the rapids happening here at the bottom. Have the left-hand angle of backing away. Hitting the edge of that turning hole. Yeah, a little kick up for that one, and he's there. Right low. All right, good recovery. There's the happy crew. So we're about a mile upstream from Hot Springs where we started this morning. We've come about 9 miles downriver. I'll see you back in hot water. Well, this is it here at the end of the full day French Broad River trip. We go 9 miles, as I said, from Barnard to Hot Springs where we're at right now. We got hot showers, the whole works here, including the video show in a few minutes where we've got a surprise gonna happen. How'd you like the trip? Great. You're coming back. That's what we like to hear. You fell. Where'd you fall?
Frank Bell's.
Frank Bell's. That's a good place to fall out.